A man said something he didn't really mean, and it ended up killing his wife. He regretted it for the rest of his life. The guy was a poor young dude, but he somehow married a rich girl from a wealthy family. He barely had a few days to enjoy it, though, because his wife couldn't stand the fishy smell of the sea. She asked him to leave with her and go back to inherit her father's fortune, but his pride got in the way, so he said no. He knew she couldn't handle living by the ocean, so out of spite, he told her to just leave. Because of those words, the couple each took their own little boat and ignored each other out on the water. The man planned to apologize after they got to shore, but then something went terribly wrong. The boat his wife was on wouldn't turn around, and it drifted farther and farther away in the thick fog. The boatman panicked and jumped into the sea, only to disappear within seconds. The fog was everywhere. The man chased after his wife's boat, but a giant wave capsized his own. The waves pushed him back onto a strange shore, and he barely survived. From that day on, he stood by the coast every day, staring out at the ocean, convinced that the waves would wash his wife's boat back to land. But 2.5 years went by, and she never came. Every sign said she was dead, but he just wouldn't accept it. Then one day, he met a Mashishi, a kind of insect master, named Ginkgo. After hearing his story, Ginkgo told him it was time to face reality. In 2.5 years, there's no way a person could survive at sea. If by some miracle she had been rescued, that's more than enough time for her to start a whole new life. The man seemed to take Ginkgo's advice to heart, and started to get his life back together. He helped a fisherman's daughter sell her catch for twice the price, and won everyone's respect. 6 months later, he ran into Ginkgo again, and learned the truth about his wife's death. Ginkgo explained that the fog is actually created by insects in the sea. When the time is right, they merge with another group from the mountains. So the fog that showed up that day was probably the same insects from 3 years ago. The man decided to sail into the fog to look for his wife, and Ginkgo agreed to go with him. The land was still clearly visible through the fog, so the man felt relieved, and focused on searching for his wife. 3 full years had passed, and the chances were almost zero. But somehow, they actually found that familiar little boat. In the fog, on the boat, his wife slowly opened her eyes, and she was overjoyed to see him. The man hugged her and cried happy tears. He apologized for being so harsh back then. She said she wasn't even mad. He took her hand, planning to move her to another boat and head to shore. But behind him, Ginkgo's face turned dark. He asked the man, "Can you still tell which way leads to shore?" The man said yes with total confidence, but he pointed in the complete opposite direction. Ginkgo told him seriously, "Your wife isn't human anymore. She's an imitation, a fake made by the insects." At first, the man didn't believe it, but when he turned around, the woman he had missed day and night had turned into an insect, melting away into the fog. His wife was dead, because of one spiteful thing he said. They were separated forever, one on this side of life, one on the other. Back on shore, the man and Ginkgo had only been 3 hours away from land, but in the villagers' eyes, they had disappeared for an entire month. The next day, his wife's little boat washed up on the shore. The man finally accepted that his wife was really gone. Ginkgo left. The man stayed in that village, living a lonely life from then on.